Hey, good evening. 8:57 Eastern Standard Time, USA. Thank you for tuning in, Real TV. This is Michael Israel. Happy Passage or Happy Passover to those who are celebrating. But tonight's show is about what happened to Charlie Murphy. Illuminati's blood sacrifice. There's a lot to explain on this one, and we're going to break it down. In the meanwhile, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. This song is presented to you from the album Freestyle the Album Part 2, which was released April 7th, not on the mass scale, but by word of mouth only. This album was created by yours truly, and just to give you a quick outline, back in the day, I used to do music, but now my style completely changed. And with this album, I received several beats that I asked initially for this show, radio style beats. Well, a great friend of mine went above and beyond, and the instrumentals that he sent were just above and beyond. And after listening to him for a few minutes, this album, FTA Part 2, was created within about 25 minutes total in one take. And Freestyle the Album Part 1 was released March 1st. So with that being said, they say if it comes from the heart, it's heartfelt. This song that you'll be listening to tonight is called Less is More. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. So blissful, so natural, so so wonderful. On a day like this, it's incredible. Make me wanna go outside and take my shoes, take a walk on the pavement. Take my shoes on the grass and just look at the clouds above and look at the ground around me. Listen to the birds, look at the bees. Sit on the bench, look at the trees. Think about life and think about the things that I need to do. The things that I want to do. I got plans and things that I'm gonna do. No more woulda, shoulda, couldas. I'm about to do it. I gotta do it. A mountain high I gotta climb. I'm on the top now. I wanna help others now. I wanna help others now. Less is more. But less is more is what the world portrays, but that's a wrong lie. That's a wrong lie. That less is more. That less is more. I need more people on this side of life. I need more people that I can relate to. I need more people that I can social with about these conversations that I've been learning about, though. Some people don't get it. A lot of people won't get it. And that's the sad part. Less is more. Less is more. In a world full of lies, less is more. In a world full of lies, less is more. Concrete pavement. I want to take my shoes off and walk on the grass. A lot on my mind. I need to sit down. I need to walk around. Sun shining. Matter of fact, it's a gloomy day. Clouds out on this rainy day. Perfect time for a lovely walk out on the sidewalk, concrete pavement. I need to talk about my feelings, but it's hard when I'm talking feelings. So I'm quiet, less is more. Now I'm quiet, cause less is more. In this world full of lies, less is more. Concrete pavement. I just need to take a walk on the grass. Lied on my mind. Less is more. Can't talk right now. Cause less is more. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoyed that song as much as I did creating it. Less is More may be available soon to you for free. Download, or we'll see how it goes. Not to go viral or anything, just a personal nugget of melody to share with you on this podcast. If this is your first time to Real TV, again, I would like to welcome you. This is not your ordinary radio station. If you are here for entertainment, this is not the entertainment channel. So, unfortunately, if you like entertainment, you could leave right now. I apologize. But if you're here to learn something and learn the truth, I welcome you with open arms. Silence is betrayal. If you know the truth and don't say the truth, then the blood is on your hands. So I pass this baton to you to share the truth. On Real TV, we keep it 100. We give you the honest truth, straightforward, as it is. So you may hear hiccups, you may hear stumbling of words along the way. The dialogue may change to other topics at hand, as if we're having a one-on-one conversation. Because when you're talking to someone, you don't necessarily always just talk about that one topic. There's several things you talk about. So that's what we're going to do on this radio podcast. And that's what we do here. We just keep it real. All right, so the topic of today's show is what happened to Charlie Murphy, Illuminati's blood sacrifice. All right, let's go ahead and deal with it. Now, I am not here to say that Charlie Murphy did not die of leukemia. That is not what's being stated. What I am saying is that Charlie Murphy was sacrificed. Now, one may think that Eddie Murphy may have pulled the plug. He may have given the go-ahead. Well, for this particular scenario, not the case. Eddie Murphy did his ritual in the early and late 90s with a transsexual and also being caught by a transsexual. He also had these issues in the early 2000s, and he did his sacrifice by giving the go-ahead for that. Put it like this. The transsexual ended up being murdered, to say the least. Okay, so Eddie Murphy did not sacrifice his brother, Charlie Murphy. What did happen is one that we could suspect. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle has recently gotten back into the industry. Dave Chappelle and Charlie Murphy were good friends. Were very, very close friends. Now, there is an excerpt that you could find, if you've never heard it before, of Dave Chappelle after the ending of the Chappelle Show, second season. He says something along the lines of, during a particular interview, that the people in Hollywood are not sick. That we don't know what they go through. We think they're crazy, but they're not crazy. They're really strong people, and they shouldn't be called crazy. They're strong people. You just don't know what they have to deal with. Something along the lines of that, right? And he also said that he was instructed to wear a dress during a script, during the script write. And he chose not to do it. The director ended up changing the script immediately. He refused to wear a dress. So what happened was, after the fact that Chappelle wanted to go to Africa, and he was gone for some time, he ended up coming back. And one of his first jokes was that he said was that, I never left. I'm just late for work. I'm 7 years late for work. So he was gone for some time, 7 years plus. So he came back for two reasons, maybe three. But here's the two. He came back because he was either low on money, or he sincerely missed using his craft and performing in front of large people. The third scenario is that he didn't finish paying his dues, meaning he was given fame, he was given money, and now he attempted to leave it all behind without paying his dues, which we'll explain a little bit later. So, in order to get back into the Hollywood industry, and in order to be a part of the $200 million club, you must sacrifice someone. So, initially, when Dave came back, the offer to him was, hey, okay, we'll accept you back, but, you're going to need to sign your name in blood. So he's like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll sign my name. That's cool. And they're like, oh, no. We're not done with you yet. We're not done with you, because we can't trust you. We need something from you, Dave, to gain our trust back again. We need a sacrifice from you. That's what we need. And Dave Chappelle's like, no, I'm not sacrificing my wife or my kids. I'm not doing it. He's like, okay, all right, that's fine. You don't have to do that. You'll think of someone. So after a while, Dave Chappelle said, all right, I'll give up Charlie Murphy. So here's how it works. As soon as he signs his name in blood, mind you, they are recording these instances. It's all recorded. It's all placed in the archive in case someone ever talks. Blackmail is right there. Boom. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that when he gives the go-ahead for his person to be sacrificed, the move is already made behind closed doors. They have a way where you could be at a party, you could be at an airport, in New York City, anywhere. And one of the methods, just one, someone can just bump into you with the microscopic needle, or with the actual needle, a little bit smaller than the standard ones that we see today, can bump into you and poke you. And this needle is surrounded with whatever it is that they want to give you. Now, you may think this is science fiction, but we live in a world of technology and of intelligence, so you can't tell me that this is not true. It happens, and this is what happened. The same thing happened with Eazy-E. It is on the record that Suge Knight has admitted on live TV, which you can search the archive to find this video somewhere online. But Suge Knight has admitted that Eazy-E was shot with AIDS. Dr. Dre knows it, Snoop Dogg knows it, etc. So this does happen. Things like this does happen. Okay? So he was shot up with leukemia, and the effects were real. That it is what it is. That's what happened. He did die of leukemia. Now Charlie Murphy died at the age of 57 on April 12th. Prince died last year on April 21st at the age of 57. In their world, numerology is important. They go by the stars. They go by numerology. They go with the best mathematicians and scientists, intelligent people, to make their plans come about. And with this said being, guys, This is what happened. This numerology is real. I can go on forever about others who have the same date of different dates, etc. But the 12 and 21 is one and vice versa and the same. Is one and the same. This is what happens. See, they're not going to do it at the same time that the person dies because it's too obvious. They know that people like me and other people across the world that are knowledgeable of the things they do behind the curtain can expose them, and they're not that stupid. They're not that stupid. Okay? So they do everything in good timing. I wouldn't even call it good, but they do everything in their time, at the right time to them when it's applicable. Also, the same thing happened with the previous actor Tommy from the Martin Lawrence show. Martin Lawrence, yes, indeed, did sacrifice Tommy from his show, the one that didn't have a job. It's not funny, but it's true. And you may ask how, why, no way. It didn't happen. Again, I may do a show on this sometime down the line, an actual video podcast, something that you could see, or just a full episode about the $20 million club. Alright, so this is what happened. Back in the late 90s, I want to say on the Arsenio Hall show, Martin Lawrence was interviewed. And during this interview, he talked about how the elites have all this money and that there's still poor people on the streets, how there shouldn't be anyone poor still. Everyone should have food. Everyone should have money and equality, and how he didn't understand it. And it was an amazing speech from Martin, to say the least. But a couple of months later, Martin Lawrence, and you can look this up. Sometimes you just got to do your own homework to get this. You got to want it. Seeking you shall find. All right. Martin Lawrence, a couple of months later, after this dialogue that he had on Arsenio Hall show, in Beverly Hills, Martin Lawrence was found in his boxers, running through traffic with the gun in his hand, waving the gun in the middle of traffic, saying, "They are trying to kill me." Who was he talking about? This happened immediately after he talked about poor people being repressed. This is the world that we live in. This is what's going on. And after that incident, he wasn't heard from again for years. Years. I find it pretty ironic that he's back in the industry now. So this is what happened. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to leave it alone. Martin's first appearance was in Big Sean's video, Play No Games. The one that was Chris Brown was featured in. At the end of the video, he showed up. He said, hey, all right, whatever, y'all, good song or something like that. Y'all go ahead and get out or something like that, right? That was his first cameo experience back into the game. And from his facial expression on the video, he didn't even want to do the film. He didn't even want to come back. To me, how I'm looking at it. Or maybe he was going through a certain time in his life at that time. Or, maybe a lack of sleep. I don't know. But for your first appearance back, it just didn't look like he wanted to do it. After everything he went through, how they treated him, etc. So this was the first experience. And when he wanted to come back, he had to go through the same thing. Okay, so you want to come back? Well, we need to gain your trust again. We need somebody that you can sacrifice. So he gave up Tommy. Now, they didn't kill Tommy right away. They waited a couple of years. They waited a year or 2 years ago, I want to say, that Tommy died. Yeah, he died not too long ago. But they didn't do it like right when he came out because it'd be too obvious. It's too obvious. But now let's replay. When you replay, you can see what's going on. So Martin sacrificed Tommy, and now he's back doing tours like no other. I'm sure you could go to Ticketmaster right now or eTix right now and look up the tours that he's on right now across the United States and the other parts of the world. And if you think I'm lying, let me give you a few names. Again, like I say, I'm going to do a show on this. They go by the moon. They go by the stars when they do these rituals. Not only do they have to do sacrifices, they have to do continuous rituals to keep their money and fame. They have to drink blood. They have to drink urine. They have to eat poop. They have to make these sacrifices on a ritual basis. Let me say this. Have you ever heard... No. Have you ever had an experience with your debit card, right? Whether you were out of town or maybe you spent too much money in that day with your debit card, and your debit card was shut off temporarily. Like you had money in the bank, you couldn't withdraw money, and you couldn't even buy a donut with the money that you had in your account. The bank wouldn't allow you to make any purchases whatsoever until you called them to get the AOK. Even if you had like $10 in the account, right? You still got to make that call. And that's with the debit card, with little money. Now, mind you, if we go through these situations with little money, and these celebrities have what you call a black card, which is the other word for the American Express, the highest form of American Express that you can get. There's silver, there's gold, and then there's black card. With the black card, you have to spend at least $200,000 a month to keep it activated with the other things that you have to do, right? So if these celebrities have millions of dollars, which they don't just carry cash on them, if these celebrities, these millionaires and billionaires made so much money, right? And it was so easy to do, right? They could just pull their money out the bank, or don't put it in the bank at all. Just leave the industry. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You can't get your cash and just leave. You work for them now. You're a piece of meat now. You are a number now. You're a missing soul now to them. You're dead to them. So what happens is this. You get a black card, and you get to take out a certain portion of money, period. If you want to buy a house, you need to call your handler. If you want to get a car, you can call your handler. But if you want to take money out, not happening. They'll freeze your account if you don't do your ritual. They'll freeze your account if you don't drink that blood. They'll freeze your account if you don't eat that plate of human chocolate, if you will. They'll freeze your account if you don't drink that snow lemonade. That lemonade snow. I'm gonna just call it what it is. If you don't drink the urine, if you don't drink the blood, they're gonna freeze that account. You don't get to spend nothing. They'll tarnish your name. They got an article they got pre-made articles. They got journalists on call that can write an article in 5 minutes on you, and they'll send you a screenshot of it to your phone. Say this could be you if you don't show up tonight. Boom. Just like that. They have a suitcase in one hand full of $10 million. And they have a pistol in the other. And they say, choose. What do you want? You want this money over here? Or you want to be a truther? Or you want to get out the game? They'll set it up. They'll make it look like suicide. They run the industry. They run the industry. So with that being said, they don't get to leave like that. They have to make their sacrifices. Kanye West sacrificed his mom. Nas sacrificed his mom. Andre 3000 sacrificed his mom. Bruno Mars sacrificed his mom. Kelly Rowland sacrificed her mom. Jay-Z sacrificed his nephew. Damon Dash sacrificed Aaliyah. T.I. sacrificed a rapper named Dollar and his cousin and one of his good friends. Suge Knight sacrificed Tupac. Diddy sacrificed Biggie Smalls. Ludacris sacrificed a rapper named Camouflage. Nicki Minaj sacrificed her cousin. It doesn't only have to do with rappers, but we're going to talk about music because that's the topic at hand right now. It has to do with actors. It has to do with cooks. Every form of money. 6 figures or better, they're going to give you a call. YouTubers, they're going to give you a call. If you got over like 2 million views, over 1 million views, somebody going to knock on your door. You're going to get a call. It's not a game. It's not a game. The list goes on. The list goes on. Eminem sacrificed Proof. 50 Cent sacrificed Jam Master Jay. Dr. Dre sacrificed Nate Dogg. Drake sacrificed his uncle. Keanu Reeves sacrificed his ex-girlfriend. Ashton Kutcher sacrificed his ex-girlfriend. Alicia Keys sacrificed her friend. LeBron James sacrificed his good friend. Bill Cosby sacrificed his son. Lamar Odom sacrificed his son. John Travolta sacrificed his son. Eddie Levert sacrificed Gerald Levert, his son. The list goes on. Sick Prince sacrificed his son and his father. Michael Jordan sacrificed his father. Anna Nicole Smith sacrificed her son. Obama sacrificed his grandmother. Jamie Foxx sacrificed his grandmother. Is it just by chance that these celebrities are always losing family members all the time? There's a girl from American Idol. I cannot think of her name right now. I cannot think of her name. But it was like 5 or 6 people who died in her family as soon as she left from American Idol and got big and made her first CD. 6 people. They'll set it up. Lil Wayne sacrificed his dad when he was 13, and he sacrificed a producer named Static Major. The Rolling Stones sacrificed Brian Jones. Tiger Woods sacrificed his father. Usher sacrificed his father and his stepson. Oh my gosh. Mike Tyson sacrificed his daughter. Cameron sacrificed Big L. Jim Jones sacrificed Stack Bundles. Queen Latifah sacrificed her brother. Soulja Boy sacrificed his brother. Venus and Serena, you all may have not have known, but they sacrificed their sister. And they're both transgender. Kardashian family, oh goodness, you go on for days with them. Louis Farrakhan sacrificed Malcolm X. The list goes on, guys. The list goes on. It can be a little stressful just talking about this stuff. I'm not lying. Not the fact that I can't deal with it. I've been researching for years. It's just the fact that a lot of people won't get this information. A lot of people just think that it's not true. We're living in the end times. This is the age. This right now is the age of Aquarius. The Aquarius constellation is the age of information. The Aquarius sign is an air sign. Air moves. Air moves. Our voice projects in the air. The speaker projects in the air. The signals that we get from our cell phones project in the air. The vibrations of our voice and anything with sound projects in the air. With that being said, we're in the age of social information and the age of truth. That's what this is. Before America goes to ruin, before it's taken over by China or Russia, the truth will be out to the world. The skirt will be lifted. And there will also come a time when the grid is shut down and there's no more power, there's no more electricity, there's no more internet, you're going to wish for the truthers. You're going to wish that you could get this information and you shall not find it. You're going to wish that those people were around and you shall not find them. Now is the time to take heed. Let him that have an ear, let him hear. Let him that have an ear, let him hear. You got to listen to this. You have to understand this. You have to dissect this information. With that being said, I'm going to move on from the celebrity topic. I know that the title of this show is What Happened to Charlie Murphy, Illuminati's Blood Sacrifice. But we're going to move forward because it is a Good Friday right now. It is a good day. Today is the 14th of April. It is the new year. So happy new year. According to the book and the laws, this is the new year. According to the word of the 14th day of this month, which is the first month to you, this shall be the first month of the year to you. This is to the Jews and the Hebrews. I am a Jew, I am a Hebrew. I have melanated skin, and I am a Jew. I am a Hebrew. Those that come to righteousness is also a part, of course. God created all. Yah created all. But not all will be Yah's. Not everybody will want to live right, want to try to do better in their lives. Not everybody will want to tell tell this truth, to find this truth, and to live in truth. We got to try to do the best that we can. But particularly for the Jews, happy Passage, happy Passover. It is the first day of Passover where we are not supposed to eat leavened bread, and we're supposed to eat our lamb. Oh goodness, yes, did we cook it up tonight? So we have an electric stove, so we didn't cook the lamb here. We actually went out and grilled it because the word says is that you need to roast it. You need to cook it up. So I know some chefs may say that you need to make that lamb medium well. I don't eat blood. I don't do that. We're not supposed to eat any blood whatsoever. I don't care if it's medium rare. Medium rare still is bloody. Medium well is still bloody. Rare is bloody. Cook mine all the way. I don't care what the chef say. I don't care if it's a chef from France. It's the 7-star restaurant. I don't care. I don't want no blood in my lamb. Period. I don't do that. So we cooked it up well done on the grill, and it took forever to get that thing. No bad words to Kroger, but I mean, I bought some charcoal from Kroger, and it didn't work out too well. It took about 20 minutes to get that thing lit, but it was all worth it in the end. We tried newspaper, used the whole bag, thought the whole food was going to taste like lighter fluid. It looked burnt, but we used 2 lamb steaks and some lamb ground, cooked it up on the grill with some herbs. Had the sage, the thyme, rosemary, parsley, oregano, and what else do we use? We use a little cracked Himalayan salt and pepper, and that was that. So we had the lamb steak, a little the ground lamb that we used. We threw it with some jasmine rice and some zucchini, and then we had a little asparagus Caesar salad. And instead of using Parmesan cheese, we used a little Gouda cheese. And then we had some cherry tomatoes, cucumber tomato soup. Cucumber tomato salad. Some organic cucumbers and tomatoes, a little balsamic, and oil, a little extra virgin olive oil, cracked pepper, a little salt. It was good. And also we had the matzah. We did a spinach feta ricotta bake. Absolutely delicious. Also matcha soup, phenomenal. And then for dessert, which we haven't yet ate yet. We're making some room. Gonna do this show and head at it once this food goes down. But we got some flourless chocolate cake topped with Cool Whip and some strawberries. And then we got a baked Fiji apple stuffed with mascarpone, cranberries, walnuts, and spices, baked or whatever. And also we had a little wine. After reading the scripture, you gotta do your homework on this. I can't give you everything, but Paul talked about it in 1 Corinthians about being drunk at Passover. You're not supposed to be drunk. You're just supposed to drink a little bit. So what I originally did, because I don't drink, I'm not a drinker, I don't smoke. We originally got some kosher grape juice, and we were just gonna do that. But after some reading, I noticed that you can drink wine, so we got a bottle of Merlot and added just a little swig of that, maybe like 1 second worth. I don't know how you can measure that. I'll say about like 4 tablespoons in a wine glass, and then topped it with the grape juice and just had it like that. So mind you, read Exodus chapter 12. After you eat the lamb in the morning, if you have any of that lamb left over, you're to burn it. But throughout the night, you're supposed to eat the lamb and eat the matzo, eat the unleavened bread. So you're supposed to do this for 7 days. There's only 7 days, guys. So that means no pizza, no toast, no cinnamon rolls, no cake, no muffins, none of that. Crackers, things like crackers. You even got to be careful with pita and some crackers. Some crackers do have yeast in it, especially if it's like a cheese cracker. Be careful. Just read the back of the box. And also we had pretzels and avocados and a little grape on this, some actual fresh red grapes on the side. But moving on, it is Passover, so we gotta be thankful for this day. This day is all the symbolism, not just for Christ, dying for our sins, but it's the release from Egypt under Pharaoh's command when Moses was sent to say, "Let my people go, let God's people go, let Yah's people go," which Yah is the original name. Hallelujah, Kumbaya. Again, if this is your first time. For my veterans, you already know how that goes. You already know the lingo. So yeah. But the meal was good. It really is a joy. It really is a blessing to celebrate as a Jew, a real Jew. There's scriptures. There are scriptures. Since we're on the topic that there's a such thing as a fake Jew. It does exist, and I will be doing a video on this shortly during the breakdown. But the Jewish are letting you know every time they tell you they're Jewish. Ish means similar to the original. I am a Jew. I am not Jewish. I am a Jew. I am a Hebrew Jew. And I'm going to just read it to you like this. And you can find this in Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Okay? Now, we're being afflicted. We've been shot at. Our people are being killed. And a lot of the Hebrew Jews are in poverty, are living in the projects. They don't have enough money. Even if you're middle class, low class, it's just not enough. So here's the verse. I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. Our kingdom is not of this world. You can't build your kingdom in another man's kingdom, hence Black Wall Street. We had the best lawyers and doctors and hospitals, and we even had our airport, and we're working on our monetary system, and it was all burned down. You cannot build your kingdom in another man's kingdom. So this is not ours. We're going to have something better. And it's coming. It is coming. It says, I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. I know about the slander of those who say they are Jews and are not. It didn't say Jewish. Jews. Those who say they are Jews but are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. These Jewish who have the most money in the world, or the richest, who own all these networks, and who own all these, everything. They own everything. Did y'all know that every item in the grocery store that says kosher or has that letter U with the circle around it or the word K, the letter K on it? Did you know that every item that is sold, a percentage of that money from that item sale goes to the Jewish for them to distribute amongst one another? It's one of the ways they're to have their riches. And I'm going to do a show about the Holocaust also, because the word anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism is based on the prejudge or the prejudice of Jews, hatred towards the Jews. They are not the Jews. The black, the melanated, or if you want to call it the Moors. Moor is just the color. Negro is just the color. If you want to call it melanated people or what have you, we are the real Jews. We are the real Hebrews. And you may say, what happened? Well, why were we in Egypt in Exodus 12? We were in Egypt because we originally defiled God. We're worshiping Moloch. We're worshiping Beelzebub and Baal and worshiping these false gods. And we wouldn't let them go. And we defiled God. We defiled God in the kingdom of heaven. We sinned against God in the kingdom of heaven. And we wouldn't repent. So we had to be punished. And we were sent to Egypt to work under Pharaoh. And after that, we were punished again because the golden calf was worshipped when Moses came down from delivering the 10 commandments to the people that he received from the Most High under the whirlwind. Our ancestors, we were worshiping the golden calf. We just wouldn't stop. And we wonder why we're in the situation we're in now, because we're still under punishment for 400 years. For 400 years, guys. And I know I'm jumping from subject to subject, but just follow me, okay? Just follow me. Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was delivered in 1865, right? Well, when you do the math from 2017, from 1865, that is not 400 years. That is far from. In fact, we weren't even freed. Just because we don't see shackles on our ankles doesn't mean that we are free. If we were once kings and queens, and we are now servants living in a part of the world and portions of the world where we're in poverty and where we're being called niggers and niggas and being shot at and being killed and they're taking our organs. We're still in slavery and bondage and being afflicted. But the Most High says, I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. I know about the slander of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. These Jewish are the ones who make these sacrifices, these blood sacrifices, that it was unfortunate for Charlie Murphy to be sacrificed. They ordain these sacrifices in order to please Satan. They're the ones who allowed and promoted and footed the bill to have what you call the Ark of Triumph in Times Square, New York, which was originally called the Temple of Baal. See, they changed the name because people was catching on. People on YouTube was making clips. People around the world and I mean was just catching on, like the Temple of Baal. Well, what happened was back in Egypt, the Egyptians ended up knocking down the original relic or the authentic monument that was in, I want to say it's a city called Palmyra, Egypt. If I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's a little late, pardon me. And I did have a little sip of wine, and I don't normally drink. Okay? But in Palmyra, Egypt, I want to say, they originally destroyed this monument. So the U.S. took it upon themselves to recreate it and bring it in one of the most affluent areas in the United States, the merchant city of the world, the fashion capital of the world, New York City. And there's some in others, and there's going to be over 300 more across the entire world and the United States alone. And we'll indulge in that in maybe another show. But that Temple of Baal was made for baby sacrifices. That's what it was made for. Drink the blood, and they have these orgies there, and I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad. It really is. But we have to awaken to the truth. We have to awaken to the truth. This is what's really going on, and not a lot of people want to know, and not a lot of people care. But for those who care, we must study to show ourselves approved. I'm not a bishop. I'm not an apostle. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I'm just a guy who knows the truth and has been studying the truth and tries to do the best that he very can. I'm trying the best that I can possibly do in this life. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. I am not perfect by any means. I'm just trying my best. And the word says, judge not, for we should be judged in the same way, period. We shouldn't judge, but people do it anyway. And I want to give some words of motivation, some tokens to you. Those of you who are creating your own podcasts on YouTube, I want to give you kudos. I have to, because someone motivated me. And I started off not too long ago, about 2 months ago. So someone motivated me, and I want to motivate you, because we have to motivate each other to get this word across. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh gosh, see, this wine, I tell you, and I only had one little swig. I hope it's not the wine. Maybe it is, but it is a celebration of joy. It is a celebration of joy. In fact, again, this is the new year. This is the new year. Common sense tells us that spring blooms. It's just warmer in the spring. There's so much life in spring. It's like the birds got extra energy. The squirrels out there grubbing and running extra fast. You know, they can grip the power line good. There's no snow in there. You know, summer is resurrection and fall is burial, or like this is harvest. And winter is death. And in the original world, we celebrate winter in the in the death of winter, in the beginning of the month. In the beginning of the month. And people cry when they see the ball drop at Times Square. We cry when we see the ball drop. And do you know that the ball dropping, have you ever just thought, why is it a ball? And why does it have to drop? Like, what does it mean? Have you ever just thought of that? You never thought of it? Well, here's the meaning. Dropping the ball is not a good thing. When you play a football game, you drop the ball, it's a wrap. When you're at the goal line with 2 yards to go, fourth quarter, and it's a championship game at this Super Bowl, and you drop the ball and you don't make that touchdown that you need, it's a no-go. It's not a good thing. If you drop the basketball, it's not a good thing. Playing ping pong, it doesn't hit the table, is not a good thing. So dropping the ball is not a good thing. They put the signs in front of us, yet we don't comprehend and understand. Facts. Facts. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the show shortly. But before we go, again, I wanted to say happy Passover. I know there are a couple of things that I want to touch, but I hope that I covered most of it, and I hope that you can understand. It is a holiday, a very, very special day in New Year to the real world. And yes, man did change the tongue twister. Man did change the times and laws under the Roman Catholic agenda They originally changed Saturday and Sunday. They changed the Sabbath days, y'all. And they invented daylight saving time. There's no way in the Bible where it says we need to do daylight saving time. That was invented. It was invented after World War II. So the soldiers could have daylight time with their families. And so the factory workers in Detroit could spend time with their families during the car industry. The list goes on, and that's a whole different topic at hand. But I want to give you all some quick news updates that are not in the mainstream. And one of the things that I want to share with you all is that thousands of Americans are leaving America because of collapse. This is what's not in the mainstream news. Thousands of Americans are believing that we're on the brink of world war, and this is a sign that we're living in the end time. That we should hear hear rumors of wars in the end time. There should be wars and rumors of wars. Say that 10 times fast. But yeah. And don't you see this in the news about Syria and everything? Oh goodness, I know I'm jumping. But one of the things, I want you to look this up. Look up the phrase Syrian rue. R-U-E. Syrian rue is a type of plant. It's a telepathy. It's a type of plant that has to do with telepathy, reading the minds of one another. Don't you all know that we're so far from the grace of God? We're so far from our level of consciousness and where we should be, and living in holiness and in truth, that we're not even doing telepathy anymore. And did you know that it's a scientific fact that beer stunts the connectivity and electromagnetism of telepathy? It's true. It's on the books. Scientists have stated this. Yes, we have a mouth to talk, but our mouth is to eat. Our eyes are to see. Our ears are to hear. This is basic things that we all know. But to be on top of the food chain, we should be far more than where we are. In fact, when you think we're 10,000 years ahead, we're 10,000 years behind. Lions, a pack of lions. They don't roar everywhere they go to one another. They do telepathy. They know when to hunt. They know when to chase the animal. They know what, you know what I mean? Come on. Birds, they don't chirp all the time. If they're not mating or looking for food, they don't just chirp when they're flying. And when you see a flock of birds in the sky, they don't just chirp with one another. They do telepathy or telepathy, however you want to call it. Tomato, potato. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. Just look up Syrian rue. Just look it up. Syrian rue has the most over there in Syria. I mean, it's the most bountiful areas in the world with these type of shrubs that grow. There's no other place in the world that has the most production of this plant that helps you do telepathy naturally. And this is truth. This is truth. But moving forward, about some not in the mainstream news, we also have to keep in mind that over 5 kids, I know you may already know this, and I know that you may already read this, but over 500 kids are still missing in Washington, D.C. Black kids. And you know why? You know what? It's not only why. But it's the fact that we're being afflicted still. For 400 years, we should be afflicted. 400 years. And we got 2 years left, y'all. 2 years. I'm not going to do the math right now. You got to do some homework. The first group of slaves was brought to the United States in the 1500s. The first voyage to Africa was in 1555 in a ship called Jesus, actually, commissioned by Queen Elizabeth I. And on that voyage, Columbus's agenda was to scope out the land, see how the people lived amongst people, how they acted, what type of food they ate, etc. And over this span of time, what was done was division. They gave one group in one part of the village and the chief gold, or what have you. They gave another one fine silk and certain spices and foods. They gave another village weapons. They gave another village alcohol, strong drink. And there was war. Alright, I'm not going to get into it. But the first group of slaves, it was about 20 to 26 slaves. The very first group of slaves were brought to Arlington, Virginia. And when you do the math and subtract 2017 from that date, you get 398 years. We got 2 more years of slavery and affliction, y'all. But moving back forward, moving forward. Of not on the mainstream news. Oh, goodness. Domino's, y'all. Now, this is not surprising because Amazon said that they were going to do the same thing, but Domino's out in Europe are allowing robots to make the first deliveries of pizza. Yes. Also, there was poop, human poop, found in Coca-Cola soda cans. And, yeah, this is true. Also in Australia is set to make all vaccines, put like this, Australia has made it mandatory for all kids to have mandatory vaccines, whether their parents want them to have it or not. In the schools, y'all. This is what's going on. And if the parents try to fight back, they just lock them up. So, yeah. That's what's going on. That's some of the not in the mainstream news. Again, welcome to Real TV. I really, really, really appreciate y'all for coming out. I want to share, let's see here. I want to share one more verse with you to my Hebrew Jews. To keep the faith and to all righteous people. All righteous people. According to the Most High. You know what I mean? We're going to make it. We're going to make it. So, with that being said, you can also go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Earlier on the show, the verse was Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. But this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. This is also to the Jews. I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, although they are not, but are liars. I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved you. This goes to us Hebrew Jews. See, those Jewish, but that long, weird, curly hair, that little one piece of curl, that like a slinky hanging down the side of their temples, those people. Those are the ones who are claiming to be the real Jews, and they're not. You got to do the research to know what's going on, and you have to ask the Most High for understanding. But those are my words to you. I hope that you all had a good Passover tonight. Hope you're having a great evening. Again, pardon my delay on the shows. I really do have a lot going on as far as business things I have to take care of and things of that such. But I try my best to keep the show as consistent as possible and as relevant as possible for you. There's so much information that we got to cover for the show. We haven't even scratched the surface at all. So we're far away from the place that I want us to be as far as the amount of episodes that I want to show to you. But with that being said, guys, thank you again for tuning in to Real TV. We got one last song that I want to play for you. I'm trying to think of the name of this song. I can't really think of it right now. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Real TV.